Hello, Kayo here. Today we're going to run a demo on how to brew coffee in one of those stovetop espresso makers. This is my favorite here. I can't pronounce it, it's an Italian brand of course. And it's spelled Assini, I think it is. Alessi, A-L-E-N-S-S-I. Alessi. Anyway. Here's the other one that we're going to send off to a friend, and it's called Primula. So what you do is you start off with some coffee. Now the coffee, you don't want to use the espresso grind that is extremely fine. You want to make sure that the type of grind you use is more of a coffee percolator type. So if you're grinding your own coffee, what I would do is get one, and you're doing your own beans, I usually stick it in here. I also don't keep it continuously going. I ease up, let it settle. 3 or 4 times, that's plenty. That's all you need. Then once you're done with that, here's the base of the coffee maker. Or I should actually, and what you do is you unscrew it, and the little cup will be inside, and I'll show you what it means. So here it is, you unscrew it, take out the little insert from the inside, that's this guy, and then you fill it with coffee. It doesn't have to be too full, and then what you do is you take a spoon and you just kind of stomp it down, like so. Press it once you've got it filled. A little bit of a caving thing like that, perfectly normal, perfectly okay. Then what you do, or what I do is, if you're not in a hurry, you go ahead and fill this with water. Now the key is, the water level must be right below this brass vent. This is a sort of your emergency blowout vent if things get too hot in there. The water must never be above the bottom of this thing. That vent must be completely open on the inside. Otherwise, water starts spurting out and it gets crazy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this. I have preheated some water. You do not have to do that. It just speeds up the process a little bit. Oh, that is hot. I also put it down because once it's down on the countertop, you have a better level in terms of the water in there, and then I just fill it, like I said, to the bottom of that brass nut until it touches it or just kisses it, and that's perfectly okay. Set it down. Then I take this, which I've already compacted with my coffee, and you can see it's not all the way to the top. It doesn't have to be. Insert it in there, screw it on. It needs to be firm, because what you don't want to do is have water sliding out. And since I pre-filled it with hot water, now the other thing to talk about is the temperature of the burner. In this case, it's an electric burner. I usually set it just below the midpoint, and so the medium heat just a little bit below it. It does not need to be too hot. Do not set it on high. And then set the coffee thing right on the middle of that burner. Allow it to brew. The other thing I like to do is I like to preheat and warm up my cups. Otherwise the coffee cools off really fast, especially if you're adding some type of a creamer or soy. In this case, we're using soy today. There we go. And I just let it sit in there, and like I said, just adding hot water to the cup warms it up. If you don't have one of these beautiful little electric tea kettle warmer thingies, you can just put some water in there, stick it in the microwave for like a minute or so. Warms up the water, and it'll warm up the cup. what I will do now is I'm waiting for the coffee to, for the water to warm up. It's warming up pretty fast. And then what happens is you will notice that there is this little spout thing on top that comes up the center. Coffee comes out of there and gets into the top chamber here. And once it's done brewing, you will hear this bubbly sound. So we're going to just listen to it, or for it. And what else? Some soy milk, which we will then later add to it, and then we'll use one of these little frother things. So it's a really cool thing that Jody's mom sent us. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, it's starting now. Once it starts, it'll grow pretty fast. Did I say grow? I meant go pretty fast. And that's my favorite sound, and that's why I don't walk away, because you don't want to leave the stovetop coffee maker sitting on the stove with an empty chamber. So you want to hang around. That way, as the water evaporates, comes up the center, comes through the coffee, and as the chamber, water in the chamber, the lower chamber starts to empty, if you leave it on there, it'll get too hot and it might warp, so you don't want that. So just hang around for a few minutes. And like I said, it's a lot faster if you preheat the water before putting it in there. I'm starting to smell coffee. This is really good. Oh, it's looking good too. You know, what's funny is these are espresso makers, right? So you think, well, if it says 6 cups, I should be able to fill up 6 of these cups, but it doesn't work that way. It only fills up, an espresso cup is like that much. So usually it's good for 2 half cups. And it's really good tasting coffee. You do not need a ton of this stuff. Hear it? Yeah, it's just starting. I can hear that. Okay, so that tells you it's getting close. The water's getting warm inside. Oh, doesn't that sound good? Hear how the pitch goes up? When it gets like that, I take a peek. The water's still kind of coming out. And I think see, that's about the right sound. That tells me it's done. And you can also look in here and you can see it's really not doing a whole lot more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the coffee in here. Or the espresso. Divide it up between the 2 cups. Now, my sweetheart likes her coffee black, so I won't be mixing anything in it. And she likes this cup with the handle and the little fishy on the side. Isn't that beautiful? It's a pretty awesome looking cup. So that's hers. Mine, I like a little bit of brown sugar. This is kind of a darker brown sugar made specifically for coffee. I'm going to add a little bit in there. Not a whole lot. Then, I like a little bit of soy. Now this is not the right way to do it. If Jody were here, she'd show you how. But you gotta mix this first. Oh, you know what? I actually picked up some soy creamer. What am I thinking? Et voila! Soy creamer. Take that baby. Pour it in there. Then use this little frother tool. You gotta be careful or you'll splash. You just gotta get it in there. It makes really good foam on top too, by the way. And the way you do it is just kind of go up. I have my finger back on the on-off switch. And as you come up, it creates the foam. There. Now, almost doubled in its size. Made a little bit of a mess, that's okay. I'm going to rinse this off real quick. Now, I am almost ready. The only last touch is, if you're up for it, like sometimes in the evenings when you're going out on a cool night, you want a little bit of coffee, or early in the morning, Irish whiskey. It's excellent to add just a little scotch touch into your coffee. What I like about Irish whiskey is it's strong, it's not a very sweet thing. You mix this up a little more and see what that tastes like. Oh, you gotta smell it first. Oh, that's good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a good cup of coffee. Thank you, everyone.